what is going on here? It is Zach the History Dog doing a VR. Yes, my good buddy at 3 Good Nerds has a crazy one, so I had to join in the fun. But first, before I start, for those coming to my channel from Justin's, let me introduce myself. I am a time-traveling bulldog. Yes, you heard me right. On my channel, I talk about people who inspire me and events that should be talked about. I just did one on James Doohan, aka Scotty. Anyway, I also can change my voice to better fit in, so let's have fun, okay? Okay. So the first question was my best setup for a hobby room. I really don't think mine could get any better, but I could always add a fire hydrant, I guess. Okay, best sport ever. Way too easy. Stool ball. Stool ball is attested by name as early as 1450. Nearly all medieval references describe it as a game played during Easter celebrations, typically as a courtship pastime rather than a competitive game. The game's associations with romance remain strong into the modern period. Written by William Shakespeare and the Sussex-born playwright John Fletcher, the comedy. The two noble kinsmen used the phrase playing stool ball as a euphemism for sexual behavior. Asterisk stool ball makes an appearance in the dictionary of Samuel Johnson, where it is defined as a game played by driving a ball from stool to stool. Stool ball seems to have been one of the earliest sports in which women participated. Activities for women before about 1870 were recreational rather than sport-specific in nature. They were typically non-competitive, informal, rule-less. They emphasized physical activity rather than competition. In contrast, stool ball allowed women to participate in competitive sport. A fine match of stool ball is recorded as having been played in June 1747 by a total of 28 women at Warbleton. The first inter-county stool ball match took place between the women of Sussex and Kent in 1797 at Tunbridge Wells Common on the historic border between the two counties. Sussex women wore blue ribbons to represent the county, while the women of Kent wore pink ribbons. Sussex historian Andrew Lusted has argued that between 1866 and 1887 the Glen Butterflies stool ball team were the first women in England to be considered sports stars. In 1866, the first recorded stool ball match took place between teams of named women representing villages as the Glen Butterflies took on the Furrow Blues. Other teams included the Chailey Grasshoppers, Selmston Harvest Bugs, Waldron Bees, Eastbourne Seagulls, Danny Daisies, and Westmiston. The sport's modern rules were codified at Glen in 1881, where the two slightly different sets of rules in the east and the west of Sussex were brought together. In 1867, the rules in the east of the county were compiled by the Rev. William D. St. Croix, the vicar of Glen, and were the first rules to be established. A Sussex Stool Ball League was established in 1903, initially played by women only. Men joined in shortly afterwards. Modern stool ball is centered on Sussex, where the game was revived in the early 20th century by Major William Grantham. Grantham wore a traditional Sussex round frock and beaver hat to stool ball games. In 1917, Sussex County Cricket Ground in Hull hosted a match between young men who had lost one arm in First World War action at a temporary hospital in Brighton's Royal Pavilion. Damaged by wounds and a team of older lawyers. Damaged by age, the soldiers won and were deemed to be heroes. In 1919, a demonstration match was held at Lord's was also played near the trenches of the battlefields of the First World War. First played in 1923. The League Championship Challenge Cup is open to the winning teams of the 5 leagues of the Sussex Counties Toolball Association: North, East, West, Mid, and Central. 22 by the 1930s, toolball was being played in the Midlands in the north of England. Since 1938, Sussex and Kent have competed annually for the Rose Bowl, which was presented to Sussex by Major William Grantham. This is sometimes a team representing Sussex, and sometimes one of Sussex's 5 leagues may represent the county against Kent. Grantham founded this Toolball Association of Great Britain at Lord's in 1923. By 1927, over 1,000 clubs were playing toolball across England. However, in 1942, this Toolball Association of Great Britain ceased to function. The National Toolball Association was founded on the 3rd of October 1979 at Clare, Hall and Haywards Heath, attended by 23 people from 9 different leagues. On the advice of the Sports Council, the governing body was renamed Toolball England. In 2010, died in the early 20th century. Toolball was also played outside England, including in France, Japan, and Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. If you want to learn more, it is an easy sport to look up. Next is something in my collection that has no value, but to me is priceless. Funny word, priceless. Having a value beyond price. Invaluable. First time that caught on was estimated 1590s. Anyway, I am a dog, so I'm showing you my bone. So this is a fun one. Favorite interaction with a celebrity. Well, like I said, I'm a time-traveling dog, so I have met so many, so who should I pick? How about Elliot Gould? Believe it or not, he was not going to join the movie Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. Back in 1969, a young Elliot wanted to be in the garment business like his dad. After having a small role in the musical Rumble in 1957, he got the bug, but he was okay with just having that as a side hustle. Then Paul Mazursky asked Elliot to play Ted Henderson in Bob, Carol, Ted, and Alice. He asked me if he should, and I said he would regret not doing it, so he did it. So I guess in the reason the world got mashed, Trapper John McIntyre, or Ross's dad Jack Geller on Friends, so maybe I changed history going back in time. All I have to say is you're welcome. So my favorite display item and something I have not shown on my channel are the same, and is the bone. So last is my favorite swag from an event. Okay, I am running out of time, but I saw the Beatles and bought this shirt. So that is that. Please, joking aside, join the fun. Sub up my channel History Dog. Sub up my human friends Autograph Fisherman and Zach Galicians. And of course the channel we are doing this for 3 good nerds. Take care.